Hello and welcome to Local Act for Peace Summer Festival 2017. My name is Claes Wallin and this is...
Eva Gershwallin. We're hosting this festival here from Nyckeby in Sweden.
And actually we are three festivals this evening. One here in Ekerö, Sweden, and one in Lagos, Nigeria, and one in New York in Brooklyn. And to our help this evening we have our hosts, Angela and Martin.
Thank you very much. They've arranged a beautiful day for us in a beautiful surrounding. And first off, of course, is the question, what are we at? What is a local act for peace? For those of you who've just turned into this and sort of go, what are we watching?
Yeah, it's a good question. And you will be hearing more about this later on when Eric, the professor from Uppsala University, will go further into the details about conflicts and peace. But the idea comes from their research and the fact that the world is becoming more and more peaceful every year, and it's getting better. And he has also the reasons why, which we now know. And we found out a few years ago that this news has a calming effect on people. And also, if people don't hear about good news, only bad news, they tend to give up. They tend to lose hope. And we saw if we can find a platform with a combination of music and data from research to spread this through the world via other festivals as well, we could do a good job. So that's the reason. But you will hear more about this later on.
And you've done this festival 3 times during the last year. And do you know, have you got any idea about what's changed during that year? Have you got any response from people?
Yeah, we had the overwhelming response. We thought ourselves it was a good idea, but the way people been responding and just started doing things and started setting up their own festivals and starting speaking to people, started calling up old friends who they've fallen out with and becoming friends again. Started inviting the whole family to a big party, and so it's so amazing to see how people when they get that I can actually do something myself for peace in my own life. It empowers them.
Is that the reason why it's so important that it's local?
Yeah, and it's also connected to the research that Eric is going to speak about.
In a sense, when we're standing here and we have people around us, what we were talking about with your friends and the people who've joined us today is the fact that things tend to seem too far away from you and that you can't influence them. In a sense, we've all influenced peace in the world around us. And when I first met you two and you started telling me about this, as having been an editor for a morning show for the news broadcasts in Sweden, I was amazed at the fact that there were so many things that we do in our daily life that actually make things better. So hopefully this is going to be yet another little thing for you back home to feel empowered. Thank you very much for doing this for us, and hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit more during the night. What are we doing now, Angela?
Well, our first act is a group called Lise and Gertrud. And do you want to tell the people what they're going to look forward to tonight?
Yes. First off, to our lovely hosts. We're at their place. A hearty well, thank you for hosting this.
Okay, thank you.
Claes and Eva. And for those of you who've just tuned into this, what are we about to expect for tonight? Well, we've got a lot of musical performances, of course. We've got lectures that are going to give you statistics saying, well, peace is actually happening, and it's happening on a daily basis and getting better and better and better. Of course, not all the time, but progressively so, in more aspects than one, and some interesting data. We're also going to get in touch with people out there who are walking the talk, literally speaking. They're out on the longest walk ever, a walk for peace. That's a little later. What do we have except for that? Well, we have a Lagos representative hosting his own festival. And we have Cosmos Sunshine representing the US festival, also here to perform live. But now,
Yeah.
not to get ahead of ourselves.
I'm going to tell them more about the next act. shall I?
That's the first act.
Yeah.
I'm off to do the camera.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck. Okay. These two women, Lisa and Gertrud, they met the first day at music school in Sweden, 1990. And since 1998, they've been performing as a duo as Lisa and Gertrud. And it's Lisa Hummel on song and piano, and it's Gertrud Stenung, song and cello. And the act has been described as 2 voices and a cello, and occasionally a piano. And it started off with them making different world hits their own. Songs like Life on Mars by David Bowie and Why Worry by Dire Straits. And they describe it as, well, we're consuming other artists' words and out comes something of our own. Both Lisa and Gertrud feel very strongly for the idea behind this evening, and they are convinced that all our actions have effect on others. Right. The fact that they both are mothers makes it important to them how they raise their own children, but they also see the children around them as individuals and how they can help them to grow as individuals. They've also been supporting a group called Ensamma Mammor in Stockholm. Ensamma Mammor is a group for single mothers living in a vulnerable economic or social situation. And Lisa and Gertrud's contribution has been to invite these mothers from time to time to their show. And that's a great idea to make a difference, isn't it? And I asked them, is music a way to create peace, I wonder? And they answered, well, music is vibrations. They go straight into your body, right into your cells, without interference from the thinking process. Music can create a peace within, which makes us lower our defenses. So yes, if the vibes are right, it can make a difference. Please give a warm hand to Lisa and Gertrud. Welcome.
How many times must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? Ooh. can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they are allowed to be free? And how many times can a man turn his head, pretending he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? And how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many days will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Thank you.
There's nothing you can do that can be done. Nothing you can sing that can be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. Nothing you can make that can be made. No one you can say that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be in time. It's easy. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you were meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. Thank you, thank you. We will end with one of the most powerful songs about peace. And I'm sure you will recognize it. There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us. And the world will live
Lisa and Gertrud, thank you very, very much. A lovely performance. Now, we are going to give you a vocal group from both Uppsala and Stockholm. And while they're getting ready on stage, I can tell you that they've been singing together for about a year and a half. And they met when they put an ad out on the internet. So that's a good idea, how to meet people. And they've been singing for quite a short time together, and even though they've still managed to move their audience with their warm sound and their individual voices. And they've been touring in Sweden, playing both covers and songs that they've arranged themselves. And let me introduce the group to you. Please, come up. Oh. Do you need some help? No. Is it okay? Yeah. And here's the vocal group coming. 6 singers in black and blue. Welcome up on stage. Let me give you the names. We have Linnea Seldinger, soprano. That's Linnea. And we have Sofia Eldefors, alto. Victor Nilsson, tenor. Gabriel Sjövall, also a tenor. And Marcus Svärd, baritone. Jonas Törnqvist, bass. Are you ready? Just about, yeah. Well, they don't have any instruments to pick up on stage, but they have to clear their voices and find a mic and things, so hang on in there. They're nearly ready. Okay? Please give them a warm hand. Thank you.
Small craft in a harbor that's still and serene, give no indication what their ways have been. They rock at their morning softness soaked in dreams, away from the roll of the sea.
Their stern lights are groaning a lullaby. A ghost on the cuddy, a gull on the spar. But never they whisper on journeys afar, away from the roll of the sea. Oh, had they the tongues to speak, what tales of adventure they would weave. But now they are anchored to sleep and slumber a little. Come, fair winds, to wake them tomorrow, we pray. Come, harvest the plenty to them every day. Till guided by harbor lights, they're home to stay. Away from the roll of the sea. Oh, had they the tongues for to speak, what tales of adventure they brave, but now they are anchored to sleep and slumber Come, fair winds, to wake them tomorrow, we pray. Come, harvest a plenty to them every day. Till guided by harbor lights, they're home to stay. Away from the roll of the Gryningsljus, ditt andetag. Sover djupt ditt hjärtas slag. Där jag med mig bilden av dig. När jag ger mig Våga vara det steg jag tar. Länge tänk på denna dag. Inte tveka, inte ångra, inte verka svag. Håll mig kvar när jag vill ge mig. Fast jag vill så kan jag inte lämna det, så vill jag inte, har inget svar. Håll mig kvar, försök att förstå stå kvar. Fast jag kan så vill jag inte lämna dig, så kan jag inte, har inget val. La 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 gryningsljud en kort sekund. Allt jag har är denna stund. Om jag går nu, när förstår du, när förlåter du? Håll mig kvar när jag vill ge dig allt. Fast jag vill så kan jag inte lämna dig, så vill jag inte, har inget svar. Håll mig kvar, försök att förstå, stå kvar. Fast jag kan så vill jag inte lämna dig, så kan jag inte, har inget val. Fast jag vill så kan jag inte lämna dig, så vill jag inte, har inget svar.
Tack.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. Don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is. Now you're in the world.
In my
In my life there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can ever face it again. I can't stop right now because I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me.
God only knows what I'll be without you. God only knows what I'll be without
of your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, and I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose and win. I give you all. I give you all. I give you all.
I give you all.
And you give me all of me. Jag vet att du sover, känner värmen från din hud. Bara lukten gör mig svag, men jag vågar inte väcka dig nu. Jag kan inte ens gå utan din luft i mina lungor.
Utan dig i mina lungor.
Jag kan inte ens stå när du inte ser på. Och genomskinligt grå blir jag utan dina andetag. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of heights amore. Do do do.
I believe in a thing called love. Just as a little ring in my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. When the rocket and the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. There's nothing I fear. I'm gonna feel that my heart will go. Why does the heart go on? We'll stay forever this way. You're safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. But I can't help falling in love with you. No, I can't help falling in love with all you need. That is what is love.
Tack så mycket.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aura. Victor, could I have a little chat with you, please?
Absolutely.
Some small talk by the poolside.
I don't know how long my mic goes, but
You can borrow mine if you want to. I was wondering, it feels like when I stand here listening to you that you're a very equal group, that there's no big boss. Everybody has a voice and everybody has a say. Is that true?
I would say so. That's what the biggest part of singing an a cappella group is, to find the equality, find the good blend and mix. And I don't think we have a boss, really. I mean, there were certain people that formed the group, but I think we all have an equal say nowadays, yes.
And how do you form your repertoire?
Right now, we're kind of a new started group, so we're trying to find what our sound is, but we have a lot of people that arrange in the group, and we steal some from other groups that we're inspired by, and we try to find some different styles and see what's ours.
It sounds great. And I was wondering, have you got a kind of a personal memory or something in your own life that you come to think of when you're in a surrounding like this, when it's all about a local act for peace?
Well, I would say just doing music is, to me, what brings the world together. Like, I've been singing since I was very little, and that goes for pretty much all of us. And just the opportunities to travel, to meet new people, to sing together, all of that just brings the world closer and people closer. And I think music is the most universal language there is. I've never gone to a place where music doesn't exist and where no one understands when I sing or we sing together. So I think that's like one of the best languages and tools to bring people together. Yeah.
I think you're right. Thank you very much, Victor, and the rest of the Aura group. Thank you. Now, Martin, could you
Yes.
step over here, please? Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering, I wanted to ask you the same question, actually. Have you got some reflection on what a local act of peace, what brings that up in your mind when you hear that sentence?
Well, as I said, the amazing thing about a local act for peace, and I don't know about you around us here, the thing about a local act for peace is it's the simple things, it's the little things in life. And the thing that really stuck to my mind was a story that was told to me just before I came here. And it's my mother's boyfriend, and if you know you're 75 years old, it's pretty hard to call someone a boyfriend, but it's still her boyfriend. His mother was alive until only recently, and she was, of course, very old. She was coming up on 100. And every morning, her neighbor, they lived in rural Sweden, in Värmland, pretty far from anyone else, but close enough so that the next door neighbor could every single morning walk out and wave from the kitchen window. And if my mother's boyfriend's mother was still alive, she would be waving back. This is something she did for the better part of 10 years, because you never know about a life expectancy when you're over a certain age. Until the very day came when she didn't wave. But the tremendous sense of just security and knowing that you as a family had someone who was always there. That simple little act of just saying, I'm looking out for you. I see you. I know that you're there. I think both kept her alive and in a community, in a feeling of a community that kept her, sustained her, and made her one of the very lucky few who could live out her life where she really wanted to live a life. So it's just little simple things like that. And the beauty of what Eva and Claes are doing here is that they brought that to life in me. When I started thinking about it, it was, well, it's not too big. It's the simple, it's the little things. And if you start doing that, and if you bring it down to that, well, then you're all of a sudden in a place where things start to look really bright.
Yeah, it's true.
What about you?
Well, I come to think of something, and it's even smaller. I have piece of artwork at home, a water art in my garden. And when I was to install that artwork, I thought I would plant some flowers in front of it. And then we talked about it at home, and maybe we should plant the flowers on the other side so we can watch the work from where we sit and have our breakfast. Then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that, because I can hear the water anyway. So I'm going to plant them. So I can't see the water from where I sit, but I can hear it, and everybody passing can see it. And it's been like the talk of the town sometimes, actually. Everybody stops and, oh, it's lovely to hear some water sparkling. Yeah, oh, nice feeling. And it's sort of it's a good way to start your day. On your way to work or on your way to school, you can go past my little water fountain and be calm. I think that's a little small, ever so small contribution to peace.
Well, it's similar to what we're doing here, what Claes and Eva are doing.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
saying, well, this is our place, please share it with us. Instead of
Yeah.
saying, I'm going to angle it to me
No, it's
and
true.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
me
Mm.
and my family and no one else.
No.
So this is what we're doing. We're sharing it with you. We're sharing this local act for peace with you. And who do we want to share it with more?
Well, I would really like to share it with a guy who's not even living in Sweden, but he's flown all the way from the States to be here with us tonight. His name is Cosmos Sunshine.
Fantastic name.
Yeah,
I wish I
mean,
had that name.
If I did too, because I mean, just that isn't.
Should we just rename ourselves?
Yeah,
That's just you're Cosmos Sunshine 2 and I'm Cosmos Sunshine 3.
Okay.
And the original Cosmos Sunshine is now about to enter the
Yeah,
stage.
to enter the stage.
Okay. So I'm going to go away and get the camera again. So
Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
Ta-da!
I see him.
Yeah, here he comes. Welcome, Cosmos.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Hi. Very welcome.
Pleased to be here.
This is Cosmos Sunshine, and he's a singer-songwriter.
Yep.
He lives in Brooklyn, New York, but also in Connecticut, which is his where he was brought up, right?
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
grew up, went through high school, and then moved to New York directly afterwards.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And now you share your life between these two.
Luckily, I get to do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
I was wondering if you compose music,
Mm-hmm.
if you sit in your home in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Do you compose in a different way when you're in the middle of a city? Does it affect you differently than if you're on the countryside in
I
Connecticut?
think only in as much as my thought, the things I'm pondering at any given time might be a little different. But I tend to work in more abstract kind of forms lyrically. My lyrics tend to be open to interpretation. So there's never going to be a line in any one of my songs that says concretely, this is what this is about. You know, it's more of an energy kind of thing.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I say, I wish I had a more definitive answer for you, but no, I don't
Look,
think so.
don't.
Yeah,
We're so happy
Yeah.
with undefinitive answers.
that's all. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Could you please tell us a bit more about your rock and roll background? Because that's what I heard, that you've got a rock and roll background.
I do.
How
I
does
do.
How did that look?
It happened kind of by fate. When I moved to New York when I was 19 years old, actually before I even moved there, I had come down to do a gig at the legendary CBGB club, which some of you may know. And I guess, I was about 19 years old, and the very first show I did in New York City, I met a person who became one of my best friends in the world and a sort of musical mentor, this guy named Jake Miller, who unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, which was a heartbreaking thing. But he introduced me to the Allman Brothers Band, and so that sort of kicked my career off in a very dramatic way. And so I kind of became the protege of one of the guitar players in the Allman Brothers Band, this fellow, Warren Haynes, who's very renowned, one of the greatest guitar players on the planet at this time. And his wife managed me and my band for quite a while, and you know, record deal, touring, all that kind of stuff happened. You know, it's a very different climate in music these days, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. In what way is it different, do you think?
this was actually before the internet really took hold, so
Yeah.
people were still buying physical units. You know, CDs were selling like crazy, and so it was maybe a little easier for an original artist to sort of generate enough funds to be on the road and you know, tour for large segments of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so and so now it's people are used to having everything you know at a whim.
Yeah. And I heard that you grew up sometimes without electricity in your home. Is that true?
Always.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well,
So it went on and off?
no, it never was. It never was.
Okay.
No, it was, you know, it was the early 70s. My parents decided to, you know, build a homestead farm. and live off the grid. So there was no
Okay.
electricity at all.
Uh-huh.
And all the way up until the time that I left. And, you know, and somewhere in the middle 80s, my mother had gotten some solar panels and some marine batteries that you could run some lights and a TV off of it and everything like that. But it remained a completely sort of rustic
Okay.
lifestyle my whole
Uh-huh.
life. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And can you trace that in your music, do you think?
Without a doubt. I
Yeah.
mean, I think not so much about the electricity, but about the sort of connectedness I feel to nature, and usually there, it's so hard to describe because it's like it's a feeling I get when a song is coming,
Hmm.
and it starts to move through me, and I know that I better get a guitar and get some pen and paper
Yeah.
and get it going. And usually that has to do with being out in nature.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
See what you mean.
yeah, it's more
Yeah.
about that, more about the
Yeah.
connection to nature than, you know, living in a. You know, it's funny because I went to school with kids. All of them had electricity, and I was,
Yeah.
living such a different life than everybody. But
Yeah.
but I'm really happy it went down that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. It sounds great.
Yeah, it was pretty. I'm a very lucky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to be very lucky people because we're going to listen to Cosmos Sunshine.
Yeah,
So please enter your stage.
absolutely.
Are you fine? Shall I? There you go.
Thank you.
So thank you, Cosmos Sunshine, everybody. And while he's getting ready, I can tell you that Cosmos has a connection to Sweden, and he's actually got a Swedish wife called Suvi. Yeah, Suvi Ash. And Cosmos began playing when he was 14 years old. And this will be his only performance in Sweden, I think.
I think that's the only other official time that I've played here. Was
Yeah.
the very first
Yeah.
version of this.
But as I saw on the net,
Yeah.
that the next chance you'll be given to hear him play live, then you'll have to take a plane to Deep River, Connecticut, because you're going to play the 9th of September at the Ivory Restaurant and Pub, right?
Yeah, that's right near where I grew up.
Yeah,
It's
we're all going to be
You'll
there.
all be there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please have a nice evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll enjoy.
Thank you. Is there? I'd like to get Sven up just to do a quick line check to make sure the fiddle's working. I'm gonna be joined by the big Sven Faringer, the fiddle assassin of Stockholm. Check 1 2 1 2. Is it possible to get a little more vocal in the monitor, please? Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Great, thank you. Check. Okay. Is there a DI available to get him set up? I should always have a joke handy for these moments. Sadly, I tend to work off the cuff. Look at this guy. Pretty dapper, right? Sven always turns out. This cat has been tearing up Stockholm since before there was a Stockholm. No.
That's it.
Yeah, let's make sure you got some signal. Beautiful. All right, I'll call you. Cool. I'll call you. I'll say, Big Sven. Big Sven to the stage. Okay. All right. So yeah, my name is Cosmo Sunshine. I'm here to play some songs that I wrote. I might even play one that I didn't. This first one's called Black Eyed Soul. Drunk in the afternoon, it all happened too soon. Rolling and tumbling and stepping out in my blue suede shoes. Oh, sweet mama, she don't wanna sing the blues. Tell your friends that's brand new. You ain't got a thing to do. Jive is getting old. My blood is hot, but my hands are cold. A deeper shade of red is bleeding on my black-eyed soul. Yeah. And these brown eyes, they don't want to see no more. Tell your friends that's bad news. You ain't got a thing to do. Traveling down that road, I carry a heavy load and I can't stay here alone. A torn up picture of you, a soul to match my shoe, and I can't stay here alone. And I can't play with you no more. Drunk in the afternoon, it all happened much too soon. Rolling and tumbling, stepping out in my blue suede shoes. Lordy mama, she don't wanna sing the blues. Tell your friends that's brand new. You ain't got a thing to do. Thank you. Thank you so very much. That's a song that's been around for a little while, but I recently recorded it for my upcoming album, which should be out in the beginning of 2018. I also shot a video for it, which is easy to find on YouTube. Just search Cosmos Sunshine, it'll come up. This is another song that's been around for a little while, but it's probably going to get on an album pretty soon. It's called Hand Me Down. I'll take 10 watches and I'll wind 'em up just to show you the time. My heart is like a broken cup. My love for you is the wine. Oh, my love, you are the stars that sparkle and shine, and all night long you bear the scars, but the light in your eyes is the dawn. Gone, I'm already gone. Long gone, I'm already gone, yeah. I'm spilling out to fill you up with life and a piece of my mind. Now spinning round to fuck you up and show your faith in the blind. Oh, my love, you'll find the time to open your eyes, and then it dawns on your mind that the wave goodbye is so long. Gone, I'm already gone. Long gone, I'm already gone, yeah. So long, I'm already gone. I play these blues and hand-me-down shoes and hand-me-down love. I play too much love, but I'm on you. Either way you choose, you got no love to love me love. Oh, either way you choose to play these blues, you're playing love. Gone, long gone, I'm singing that highway song. Gone, so long, sing along. Gone, long gone, I'm singing that highway song. gone. I'm so long, and I sing along. Let's call him Hand Me Down. All right. Jump into a tune right from this here album. If anybody's interested, I have some vinyl available and also an email list. I'd love to, if you like what you're hearing, I'd love to get your email so we can keep you posted on future events. This is called Sun Will Rise. Light to fill our eyes, it's another day. Dawning, brighten up our skies so we might find a way. Our hearts are open wide for love to step inside, and I feel it growing. Seems that we've been blinded, that we're caught up in a tide of emotion. But the sun will rise again. Fireflies and the twinkling of the stars, it's our own reflection. By moonshine as sweet as summer wine, and I see you smiling. I'd love to paint your gray walls, all the colors of my mind, it's all very fine. Growing stronger, growing taller, each and every time that the sun will rise again, and the sun will rise, it'll rise again. And the sun will rise, it'll rise again. And the sun will rise. You know I love you. honestly I do. You know I love only you. Sun will rise. The Big Sven. Where's the Big Sven? I can see him from here. Hard to miss. That dapper man. All decked out in his finery. How's it going, brother? Good. It's fine over here, too. Is everybody having a good time? I haven't asked this yet. Glad to hear it. I would expect everybody would. Such a beautiful location. A pretty magical scenario right here. And everybody gathered for sort of all the right reasons. So, and thank you, Klaus and Ava, and everybody involved for making it happen. It's really a beautiful thing, and it shows that we're all sort of in it together, and you know, people have rightness about them, so it's good to see. Congratulations, you all. This is a song called Sink or Swim. I was sinking lower and I fell in love with a dream. Dripping black water surrounded by every stream. But I'm constantly in motion, the pain of the emotion recedes. Naked as a baby on a lotus leaf in a latrine. I was going under when you threw a rope to me. Truth of the illusion is I was setting out to sea. It's the order of confusion, sometimes I play with fantasy. In a place that is nowhere in a time that'll never be. I find that getting over is merely getting off for free. I was going under when you threw a rope to me. I would rather die than become a cog in this machine. It's a true and tragic fact that I'll become a casualty. With a pantheon of ghosts coming back to take the piss out of me. I would rather die than become a cog in this machine. I would run away, but you come looking for me. Rolling on the waves of a song, I could rise above and you could really see the value in me, and I could really heal the pain within me, yeah. I was sinking lower and I fell in love with a dream. Drifting black water surrounded by every extreme. When I'm constantly in motion, the pain of the emotion recedes. Naked as a baby on a lotus leaf in the latrine. I was going under when you threw a rope to me. Rolling on the waves of the song, I could rise above and you could really see the value in me, and I could really heal the pain within me. Rolling on the waves of the song, I could rise above and you could really see the value in me, and I could really heal the pain within me, and you could really see the value in me, and I could really heal the pain within me. The Big Sven, rocking the house. Okay, I'm going to leave you all with a song that I actually wrote in Sweden, right near the wonderful Lambarud, near the mean streets of Lambarud. Yeah, I often say when I announce this on stage that I was communing with the little people. And by little people, I don't mean little in any economic strata or anything like that, but actually small in stature. This is called Hobbit Rock. Spent time in the woodman scene to find the faraway dream. I was following a mantis green on the wind, on the water, underground songs of winter can be found. Bring kindness to the world, for we are bound to the source of all sound. Wooden arms and legs have grown from a body made of stone. Underneath beats a heart of gold. On the wind, on the water, underground songs of winter can be found. Bring kindness to the world, for we are bound to the source of all sound. Yeah. Dripping in the noonday sun is a power for everyone. It'll be here when we're long gone. On the wind, on the water, underground songs of winter can be found. Bring kindness to the world, for we are bound to the source of all sound. On the wind, on the water, underground songs of winter can be found. Bring kindness to the world, for we are bound to the source of all sound. Yeah. All right. Thank you all so very, very much. My name is Cosmo Sunshine. Mr. Sven Faringer on fiddle. Give it up for a local act for peace. Peace. Thank you, brother. Cheers, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My pleasure.
Thank you very much. truly a great pleasure having you here. Thank you very much. That was a pleasure listening to. There's a lot of people who contribute to Local Act for Peace, but none more so in the early days of this festival than an actor that tragically passed away this year. His name is Mikael Nyqvist. He was a celebrity in Sweden long before he made it outside of our borders. Tragically, he would have had a long career ahead of him had it not been for the ill fate of terminal illness. What he did for A Local Act for Peace was amazing. He actually put this festival, this little thing happening on Ekerö, on the map. And this is something from him to all of you, because he's still with us to some extent.
Hej, jag heter Mikael Nyqvist. Hej allihopa. Jag har en ledig dag här i London och går Regents Park och tänker på att varje promenad börjar med ett första steg. Och vad var mitt första steg med civilkuraget? Och då kom jag på att det måste vara när jag mönstrar. Och jag sökte faktiskt att bli kustjägare för jag tyckte det var tufft. Ja. Och efter ett tag förstod jag att det var inte alls det jag ville. Så att jag sökte vapenfri tjänst. Och de blev väl tokiga där så att de skrev, vadå du är kommandosoldat, du ska ju äta järn och skita kätting. Ja, men jag fick ändå göra den här vapenfri intervjun. Och det gick väl sådär. För de frågade så här, vad gör du om fienden siktar en pistol mot din mammas huvud? Jag skjuter mig själv så här. Ja, nu fick jag inte vapen för jag fick ju frisedel. Jag trodde jag var tokig i huvudet. Jag berättade det där för min kompis då. Var vi runt 19. Och han sa, ja, du förstår väl, alla kan ju inte bara göra vapenfri tjänst. Hur skulle det se ut? Jo, men det är väl det som är tanken, sa jag. Ja, men nu ser inte världen ut så. Och då sa jag, nej, någon måste ju börja. Ta första steget. Hej då från London. Hej då.
Ja, när man ser det här så fylls man av precis den värme och kärlek och glädje som han faktiskt spred runt sig. Jag hade förmånen att träffa honom ett gäng varv, mestadels genom bekanta. Micke var ju snäppet äldre än jag, så att det var de kollegor jag hade som hade kommit lite längre i karriären som hade honom. Vi har en liten hälsning till, inte sant? Har vi inte något ord till ifrån honom? Så att vi slipper lämna det här.
Hej. Det är Micke Nyqvist här igen. Jag skulle bara säga att jag fortsätter att gå här med mitt civilkurage i London. Som ni ser. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
And see, the funny thing is, when you start looking at an old friend doing something in front of the camera, you switch to Swedish. So for those of you who didn't quite understand that, it was because it was fairly emotional. And when I saw Micke, I just reverted to Swedish for some reason. What I was saying was the amazing thing about him is the warmth and the ease and the comfort in which he speaks. And it makes it even more tragic that we've lost him. In the last couple of sentences, he goes the 1, 2, and 3, the third step. And a couple of people that have walked a lot longer than that for peace are the ones we're about to meet now. Angela, we have a Skype phone call coming. Take it.
Okay. We're now going to speak to a couple called Ebba and Albin. And hopefully we've got them on Skype now.
Ja. Hallå Claes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Ja, vi hör dig bra.
Oh, great. This is Ebba.
Det är väldigt mörkt här.
It's dark, I know. But nevertheless, we can see you.
Vad bra.
This is Ebba and Albin, and they have been taking this like my colleague said, that a step further, the walking part. They've begun their walk in Varberg 2016, and they plan to walk around the world. And they call their mission Walk to Peace.
So, Ebba and Albin, you probably see me. It's probably as dark where I'm as. I'm in the control room, and this is the beauty of doing stuff in someone's home. You're not entirely sure how it's going to come out.
He's in the
So
wardrobe.
Where are you now? Tell us, where are you at?
We're just outside of Bratislava, and we just crossed the border today from Austria.
And the fact that there's only the firelight? Are you outdoors? Have you got a campfire going?
Yeah, you can use that. Yeah, we've got some candles here. We're kind of
Improvising some
Yeah.
camera light.
We're in the middle of we're close to Bratislava, but we're on the border on the other side of the river where we can be camping in peace. Peaceful camping.
So tell us about your mission. I mean, a walk to peace. What are you doing?
Mostly walking. And
A lot of walking, yeah.
meeting people in an open heart. Like just actually 10 minutes ago we sat down here and a woman came down from the bike road and she said she had met us earlier today when we were in Heinburg, a little town, and she recognized us again and asked if we needed some water and food. So she just came down and gave us some water and food. And she was so happy to meet us, and we were so happy to receive this generosity. Feel like friends in an instant.
And us doing the local act for peace, and you've just received that little local act of peace where you're at. I understand you were recently in Vienna, and you were at the UN and a certain facility there. What did you do?
We met the director of the Disarmament Affairs Department in the UN, Ismail Bala, and learned a lot about his whole career working in this area, working at peace at a global level, and also telling us that they have shifted recently to work on a grassroots level in the UN because they realized that's where it really happens. That's where all peace begins.
So we're way ahead of them, both you and us. We're ahead of the UN. Did you tell them that there was a local festival in Ekerö that figured that out a long time ago?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
So the people you've met in your travels, is there anything in particular that you'd like to share with us?
Maybe Sasha. So
yeah, it's a good example.
like when we were in Vienna, we were going to a meeting with a man named Peter from a peace organization, but I wanted to see a church on the way. We should at least see one big church when you're in Vienna. So we kind of fumbled our way and crossed some street and came to some peace exhibition.
Museum, yeah. And it was like very felt like a big coincidence that we ended up at Vienna's Peace Museum, which we didn't even know existed. And we walked in there and we talked to Sasha and Safar, who were two guys working there. And then one of them, Sasha, he said that he was going to Sweden this week and going to live in Uppsala, and so and to study peace. And so I think he's actually with you right now. And
if everything went well.
Yeah, if the magic worked its way. So that's like so many times it happens that there are like all these connections that just, life coincides in a magical way, and it just is magical, and we're shown that magic every day.
And in terms of your mission, it's a walk to peace. Are you just going to keep on walking until there's peace? Is that the idea? We're going to call you in how many years, and you're going to be on the road, or?
Our loose plan is to walk around 8-10 years and then have a long family break in Sweden for another some years, and then if there's not world peace by then, we just go out and keep walking with our kids.
It's a wonderful tour sponsored by Compede.
So-
The
sorry?
plasters.
Yeah, compete for the feet. Yeah.
Well, luckily we have sandals.
Yeah, we have good sandals actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not
no,
a single blister, but actually 2 flat tires now in the 1,000 kilometers since Germany.
Yeah, we
That's
have a
pretty
wagon,
good.
so yeah.
So,
Changed that yesterday.
thank you very much for joining us. Would you mind just as an ending note to this, you saying the UN is going to start working more on a grassroots level? Did he give you any specifics on how they're doing that?
Yeah, they're doing through online education systems where people get to go courses online and then meet up with local teachers or facilitators so they can spread out. Just like you.
Thank you very much. From all of us here at Ekere, listen to the crowd behind me now. Give them a hearty welcome from the way.
So much.
You can't see people here, but they are cheering for you. And wherever you're heading from here, please use that applaud and all the warmth and the love that we have for you and your mission on your journeys onward. We look forward to seeing you when you're about to start that little family back in Sweden again.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you.
Take
Good
care.
luck.
Have a lovely trip.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And where are we at now? Yeah. And what we're waiting for now, the next step in our action towards peace is to listen to a professor from Uppsala University. And I think they're putting him on right now. Martin. He's just chatting away.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
talking to Cosmos Sunshine. I'm really
Yeah.
sorry because there's stuff happening everywhere. Hello.
It's live.
What do you want me for? Do you want to talk to me? Were you standing up here going, well, we're waiting
No,
for
the thing
something?
the thing is that we should make room for the professor now.
Oh, the
Right?
professor.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
should
yeah.
introduce him.
Yeah, you should.
Is it his turn to go?
It's his turn
so
to
there's no
go.
music intermission?
No.
I completely failed in reading the script that I actually put together. So I'm about to introduce a professor.
Yes.
Is it Eric? He's the only professor we've got,
yes.
so it's probably
yes,
Eric.
It is.
Is
yeah.
he? Where's the only professor we've got? Is he here?
He's
He's
over there.
Okay, so
Give him a
turn
big
the
hand.
follow camera, follow me. Follow camera, follow me. Here we go. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. And also because Eric, I think you're going to have to come out a bit further here because otherwise the cameras can't catch you. And you're going to be lecturing where? Here. Is this where you're going to be talking, or up there? Up there.
I think up there. Right?
That's the producer up there. He's pointing, and it's obviously over here. Eric, I've had the great pleasure of meeting you beforehand, and I've had the great pleasure of actually listening in on your studies. And you've been here since the festival began.
That's correct. I was here a year ago. Did a similar talk.
And to those who are not familiar with you, who are you and what do you do?
I'm a professor in peace and conflict research at Uppsala University, and I study peace and conflict.
And last year you gave us a lecture, and you're obviously here as a reprisal because they loved you then, and you embody what we're talking about. But we can expect new stuff this time around. What specifically are we talking about?
Yeah, I will repeat some themes from last time, but I will focus much more on masculinity, on manliness, the connection between man and violence, and peace.
Okay, so in order for Eric to have the best possible audience, what we need to do now is make sure everybody, come on out. Lecture time. Everybody indoors, come on out. This is the one you don't want to miss. Come on. People, come out, come out, come out. See, we need a bigger audience.
Yeah.
You deserve a bigger audience.
Well, we have the internet.
And you can't start because I've got the only microphone. So until I hand this over, You're in my hands. No, 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 you can't give him that, because then he'll start talking, and we need the audience. Come on out, everybody. Join in. Come closer. Poor Sunshine. We wanted an audio closer to Sunshine, so this time around, gather in. Come on in close. Here we are. Everybody out. Okay, Eric, they're here. Take it away.
Thank you. And I'm gonna step up here. Thank you for inviting me to this fantastic occasion and to this opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the research that we do at the Department of Peace and Conflict Research, Uppsala University. So the title of this little presentation is Manly Violence, ? And in a bit you will see what I'm getting at, I think. Next slide, please. So we are all concerned about war and violence and people being forced to flee their homes and so on around the world. And we in Uppsala, we map this, we measure this. We count the number of people being killed in organized violence so that we can do scientific research on that data. And this is what it looks like if we take the last 10 years and the number of people that we have counted in the Uppsala Conflict Data Program killed in organized violence. And of course, this is a very disturbing picture. The world is much more violent than 10 years ago. But importantly, you can see that it seems like there was a little bit of a peak a few years ago, and now the levels of violence are going down again. But what we as researchers do is that we try to get a broader picture and analyze longer trends and patterns in peace and conflict. So if you look at the next slide, it shows the number of people killed in wars since the Second World War. So this is 1946 to 2016. The part on the left is data from our colleagues in Norway, and the part on the right is the same data that I showed you in the last slide. And what is important here is that this very disturbing increase in organized violence around the world in the last few years is actually less dramatic if we have this longer time perspective. So there are peaks in violence, there are ups and downs, but the general trend is actually declining. So the Cold War period, which sometimes is viewed as more stable and the superpowers imposed order in the world system and so on, was actually much more violent. And this is important. And one reason why it is important to study these things is that we want to understand how come the world has actually become more peaceful. And whole continents are much more peaceful today than used to be the case. Like Latin America, or Southern Africa, or East Asia. Very important progress has been made toward more peaceful societies. And if we only focus on the violence and the bad things, then we will miss out on understanding how we can make peace. Next slide, please. And of course, this becomes even more dramatic if we were to look at not only the period since the Second World War, but including the world wars. So this is what it looks like if we show the patterns from the year 1900 to 2005. So the graphs that I showed you would be that almost flat line at the right part of this graph. So the world wars, of course, were tremendous catastrophes, and we haven't seen anything comparable since, which is very important and something to be extremely grateful for, of course. So what explains peace? And how can we work to further this spread of peace even more? Well, I'm going to talk about one very important cause of peace, Next slide, please. So one of the most strong findings in peace and conflict research is that societies with more equality between men and women are more peaceful. And this holds up no matter how you measure gender equality almost. You can use many different measures of gender equality. And it also holds up taking into account many different measures of violence. It also holds up taking into account alternative explanations of peace, such as the level of democracy, levels of economic wealth, religion, whatever you can throw at it, it holds up. So this is obviously a very important pattern, and we need to ask what explains, how come more gender equal societies are more peaceful? Next slide, please. So there's a paradox here, or a puzzle, as we would say as researchers, something that is puzzling that we need to understand. So most violence, physical violence, is perpetrated by men. The overwhelming majority of all people who kill other people are men. But it's also true that most men in all societies, also in societies affected by war, do not kill, do not use physical violence. Especially if we limit ourselves to understanding why people would voluntarily take up arms. Many men are forced to fight, conscription or child soldiers and so on. So this is a paradox. Violence, physical violence, seems to have something to do with men and manliness. But there is also a variation so that the violence is actually perpetrated not by all men, but by some men. So this is the puzzle that we want to understand. And this is, of course, not to deny that women can be extremely fierce and efficient fighters. There are many women throughout history who have fought and fought well and been leaders of armies and so on. And to the left here, we have a recruitment poster for the armed wing of the African National Congress, the resistance movement who fought against the apartheid regime in South Africa, as an example of how women have stepped up in the armed struggle for freedom in that case. But the graph on the right shows the rate of people becoming murderers, the homicide rate, perpetration for men and women. Men would be the blue line, and red is for women. And then you see the age at the bottom of the x-axis of the graph. So this is just to illustrate that, of course, when people are small, children, it's extremely rare that people become murderers. But look at the blue line in the teenage and for young people. Men are much more likely to kill than women. And this holds in all societies and through all times that we know of. So what is it that makes men violent, but only some of them? And can this help us understand also why societies have become less violent in recent times, if we get at this explanation? Next slide, please. So this very strong pattern that exists in all cultures tells us that this probably or certainly has something to do with our biology. There's sometimes a very harsh debate between people who would like to say that no, human nature has nothing to do with this on the one hand, and then there are people who would like to simplify this into deterministic relationships, that this is the way human nature is and it has to be that way. Both of those points of view are wrong, and it's an unproductive debate. It is both nature and nurture, both our human biology and our culture. But what is very important here is that clearly culture and values and norms are decisive, because we have the same human nature throughout humanity and also throughout time. If we talk about modern history, we have not evolved, we have not changed as as animals, as humans. But our societies has changed so much. And one example, of course, would be Scandinavia. We are the same people biologically living here. But in our history, for example, the famous or infamous Vikings was an extremely violent society with an extreme honor culture. And I'll talk more about honor in a minute, which has been transformed, thankfully, into a much more gender equal and peaceful society today, represented by that guy with the baby to the right. So, yes, biology matters, but it is very hopeful that culture and norms and values are more important. Next slide, please. So, what research shows matters is what we call masculinity. It's not human nature, it's our beliefs about what it means to be a man, a real man, or a real woman, if we talk about femininity. So it's about manliness. It's about norms, upbringing, culture, values. And the explanation that we write about now in our studies, we call masculine honor ideology. So we call this ideology because it's something that people, individuals, adhere to, embrace or not. It's not like you can say that this country or this group of people, they have an honor culture and the rest don't. It's rather something that you can find to varying degrees in all societies. And it's different for each and every individual. That's why we call it an ideology. And it's about manliness, that's why we call it masculine. And it's about honor in the sense that men gain honor by being fierce, by being warlike, by being tough, not showing emotions. And these ideas also include that men are superior, that men deserve privilege in family, in society, because they are manly warriors. And in order to keep that status and those privileges, men must be tough. And when challenged or met with an affront, men must not back down, but instead be prepared to use violence or threats of violence to defend their honor and their status as privileged men. That is masculine honor ideology, and that is what drives violence to a very large extent. It's extremely destructive. Next slide, please. So you can actually measure this among individuals, and I'm coming back to that this is not something that certain groups of people have. It is rather something that one man buys into this more than another man. And you can measure that using sets of questions. And then you find that men who embrace these beliefs, masculine honor ideology, they are more violent, both in their attitudes and their beliefs, but also in their actions. So for example, when you look at perpetrators of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, sexual violence, these beliefs predict those crimes. Also militaristic views, illustrated by this picture from the outbreak of the First World War. People who buy into these ideas about manliness tend to be more supportive of war and aggressive foreign policies. Next picture symbolizes racism. Men who buy into masculine honor ideology tend to be more racist and less tolerant. But also behavior is predicted by this. So men who buy into masculine honor ideology tend to commit more violent crimes. And our latest research shows that this actually also predicts who participates in political violence. It's of course not the only explanation, but it is a very important explanation. Next slide, please. What about women? Is this only something that concerns men? Of course not. This is not biological nature in the first hand. This is culture and norms. And femininity and masculinity are always constructed and defined in contrast to each other. And these beliefs are upheld by both men and women. So women tend to act as the audience in front of which these manly men must perform. And men who fail to measure up are ridiculed by women. Women can also push men into violence, symbolized by the second picture here, or choose these manly violent men as partners, as a reward. So these are patterns through which women tend to help upholding these conceptions about masculinity. Next slide, please. Can we have next slide, please? So these are patterns that we can recognize to varying degrees everywhere. But we can also see that these patterns change. It is not the same today as it used to be. So this points to a very important avenue toward peace. When masculinity is delinked from violence, when we do not anymore define real men in terms of violence, fierceness, toughness, emotional coldness and detachment, then not only will we have more equality between men and women, but we will also have less violent societies, and actually peace will benefit as a consequence. And I've chosen here a picture of a guy who is on daddy leave, taking care of his daughter, and he's out hunting with his rifle. So I'm not saying that people should not be hunting if that's what they like, that men shouldn't carry rifles if they want to do that. The point is that manliness and how we value and define men should be delinked from violence against other human beings. So if you like hunting, go hunting. Bring your daughter along. Maybe she will also be a hunter. And also women, of course, can be excellent soldiers and should be allowed to take on that role if they want to do that. And peacekeeping forces, for example, will benefit. This is a picture from Liberia. So these are women from India. India deployed a whole battalion of military police to Liberia as part of the peacekeeping mission. And here they are thanked by the president of Liberia, who's also a woman. So this is actually my message. Next slide, please. That these things matter a lot for violence. They predict violence among individuals, but they also help explain which societies and which time periods are more violent. And the trends are hopeful. Things are improving in this regard. On the left, we have a graph showing the number, the number of women who were foreign ministers. That's the brown part. Or chief executives of states. That would be presidents and prime ministers and so on, globally in the time period 1946 to 2015. As you can see, this is just one indicator, one measure of the progress in terms of gender equality. And much remains to be done. The world is still mostly a rather unequal place. But this is a very important part of the explanation for why the world has actually become more peaceful. And this shows that we can all do something to promote peace and a less violent society. By thinking about how we raise our children, how we relate to each other in schools, in the workplace, how we organize school curricula, and so on. So I want to end on that positive note, that we can all do something to build gender equality and in that way promote peace. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Erik, for that positive information. I think that's something to carry with us, not just for tonight, but for the rest of our lives, to think that it is improving, it is getting better. And now I'd like to welcome up on stage, it's time for some more music, and it's time for Istria. And Istria is a young woman whose mother is Finnish and her father is from Chile. And she started singing at the age of 13 because she had a knee injury which made it impossible for her to do sports. And there was this music teacher who saw some kind of talent in her and asked her if she wanted to try doing some singing. And she said, yeah. And after that, she kept singing. And Istria loves being her own boss. And she writes all her material herself, and it's going to be in Swedish. And it's about everyday things, about love, about relations. And afterwards, I'm going to have a few questions for her. But now, please welcome Istria and her band. It's Henrik Puranen on bass. It's Johannes Haglund, drums. It's Mikael Norén, piano. Anton Hedlund, guitar. And Istria herself, Istria Sanchez Autio, song and percussion.
Thank
Take
you.
it away.
Thanks, guys. Can't see you so well behind the lights here, but for all you other online, please come forward if you like. We're just gonna start with the first song, and then I'll tell you some more about it. This song is called "What Happened" in Swedish. Vad hände? Genom dörren med en annan tjej i din hand. Och jag vet vad du gör och vad du har för dig, men jag vill inte tro det är sant. Kan du förklara för mig, för jag har ingen aning. Du bara tog dina grejer helt utanför våningen. Ska jag klara mig utan dig? Jag vill inte vara en singeltjej. Jag vet inte vad jag ska göra nu. Jag bara helt i tur. Vad hände med alla planerna som vi hade? Vad gör jag nu med alla sakerna och katten? Varför ska det vara så svårt? Vad har den där tjejen som jag inte har? Jag skulle göra allt för dig, men du bara drar. Är hon blondare än mig och har den tajtaste kroppen? Jag tror säkert du tycker hon är bättre än mig på att ge dig en blåjobben. Låt för att jag inte gillar att ha sex på krogen. Jag är mammas flicka och jag är henne trogen. Inte som dig ditt jävla as, för du var med och trogen. Du ska göra för att bli hel igen. Jag vet inte vad jag ska göra nu. Utan dig så får jag bara helt i tur. Vad händer med alla planerna som vi hade? Vad gör jag nu? Jag vet inte vad hände med alla planerna som vi hade? Vad gör jag nu med alla sakerna på platsen? Thank you, tack så mycket. Nice guys. Okay, so I just want to tell you shortly about the lyrics and what we are doing. We are quite new constellation in this group, in this band. But for you who don't know Swedish, I can tell you that the lyrics is about mostly relationships, not my own, maybe some other stories or one of the band members or whatever. But in general, everything is about love and how we all deal with this issue. And this song is called Brände mig. In English it's I got burned. So you can imagine what it's about. Älskling, blunda dina ögon. Jag vet ju vad du menar, men du kan inte gå runt situationen som jag är i nu. Nej. Du gav mig kärlek och jag tog dig hårt. Ingenting kom emellan. Men du brände bort min själ. Du brände ju hela mig. Men det kunde ju lika väl varit en annan tjej. Det kunde ju varit nu, men lika gärna varit idag. Varit du och jag i denna här världen. Varit som jag sa, varit i fantasin. Det kunde varit du och jag. Det kunde varit min. Men du brände bort min själ. Du brände ju hela mig. Men det kunde ju lika väl varit en annan tjej. Ja, det kunde ju varit. Det kunde ju varit nu, men lika gärna varit idag. Varit du och jag i denna här världen. Varit som jag sa, varit i fantasin. Det kunde varit du och jag. Det kunde varit min. Thank you. Tack så mycket. Micke på solo. Och Anton på sologitarr innan. We're gonna perform a song called Stockholm City. So this song will take you into a vibe, the culture of how it is of going out in Stockholm. And I think maybe you guys can help me sing a little bit too.
Okay.
Great, man. I'm just gonna move this a bit because it's sounding so much.
Check.
A one, a two. I will wait a little bit more. Gatans ljus har blivit vackrare ikväll. Stockholm city tar oss till sin själ. Grabbar visslar, klackar, nattar ton mot mark. Hey! Ikväll är det vår kväll och luften den är varm. Det är liv i Stockholm city. Ja, det är liv i Stockholm city. Ja, det är vi. För ingenting kan stoppa oss. Det är liv i Stockholm city. Vad säger ni det? Det är liv i Stockholm city. Ja, det är vi. För ingenting kan stoppa oss. De låser kommer du från tuben, känner sommarns varma natt. Borta vid Medis hörs det liv och skratt. Stämningen stiger och vi genar fram i kön. Hej! Nu är det dags för party och se vad Medis har att ge. Hej! Det är liv i Stockholm city. Det är vi i Stockholm city. Ikväll kan allting hända för ingenting kan stoppa oss. Det är liv i Stockholm city. Ja, det är vi i Stockholm city. Ikväll kan allting hända för ingenting kan stoppa oss. Testosteronet stiger och parfymer luktar gott. Killarna är läckra. Det här är våran sport och musiken brinner. Alla kroppar släpper loss. Vi äger stället och all fokus är på oss. Sing louder, come on, you can do it. Liv i Stockholm city, det är vi i Stockholm city. Ikväll kan allting hända för ingenting kan stoppa oss. Nej, nej, jag kan till liksom så upp så går det under. Ikväll kan allting hända för ikväll. Stockholm city, ja det är liv i Stockholm city. Ja det är vi, yeah. Ingenting kan stoppa oss. Thank you, guys. We are so grateful to be a part of this. I think I speak for the whole band now at the moment. And we would like to bring up the guy who asked us if we would like to perform here today. So Henrik Niss, please join us on stage. And give him a big hand of applause, guys. Great singer, and I'm happy you wanted to sing here with us.
Of course.
So because you're a guy and I'm a girl and all that, and I thought, just so you know, this song that we're gonna sing now, I wrote it to an old boyfriend I had when I was like 15 or 16. So let's all pretend that he's my boyfriend now. So we will have a very emotional moment here up on stage. So you guys know. So this is last song. It's called Only You Know How. Bara du vet hur.
Leva livet är kul. Och du och jag har just börjat nu. Min kärlek växer mer och mer för dig. Och tänk att allt började med ett hej.
Hej! Du gör mig alltid så glad. Jag vill spendera varenda stund och minut med dig varje dag. Så lyssna till min sång här inne. Det sjunger för dig och jag brinner.
Krama mig hårt, du vet som jag gillar. Kyss mig nu, bara du vet hur. Du är min kärlek för alltid, baby, yeah. Trycker dig närmare, jag kan känna på pulsen. Och säga trygg i våran lilla värld. Att älska tillsammans med dig. Flyter på så bra nu. Verkar som vi börjar hitta vår parstruktur. För du är allt som jag brinner för. Vill leva med dig tills jag dör. Krama mig hårt, du vet som jag gillar. Kyss mig nu, bara du vet hur. Du är min kärlek för alltid, baby, yeah. Tycker dig närmare, jag kan känna på pulsen. Och säga trygg i våran lilla värld. Att älska tillsammans med dig. Oh, yeah. Hey! Som är svåra så kan du luta dig mot mig. Du fyller upp mig själv.
Så mycket värme, lust och kärlek. Fan, du känner mig allt för väl.
Krama mig hårt, du vet som jag gillar. Kyss mig nu, bara du vet hur. Du är min kärlek för alltid, baby. Hey! Tycker du närmare, jag kan känna på pulsen. Och säga trygg i våra lilla värld. Att älska tillsammans.
känna på pulsen och säga tryck i våran lilla värld. Att älska tillsammans med dig. Du måste krama mig hårt, du vet som jag gillar. Och bara du vet hur jag
Thank you guys. Henrik Niss and the band. Thank you. I think you are up next, I don't know.
Yeah, Istria, could I have you down here, please? Bring someone to hold your hand. We all need someone to hold our hand from time to time. Great! Thank you. That was so amazing. And I'm going to give you the mic so people can hear what you're saying.
Yes, of course.
How did you experience this outdoor, quite chilly evening for a local act of peace?
This has been amazing. We actually didn't know exactly what it was about first, but then I was talking with you on phone, and I talked with Henrik, and such a great idea and beautiful people, and we're really happy to be here. It's amazing.
And have you experienced some kind? Or what do you think about in your own life? If you think, oh, a local act of peace, okay. Have I experienced anything like that? Have you?
Yes, quite. How do you say? Recently, I was working as a postwoman, not in my suburb, but in central of Stockholm, and I was leaving my last house where I was delivering the mail, and there was a woman yelling at me, saying that there is an old man over there. He needs help to get in. He was very old, and he had a wheelchair, rollator. What do you call this? You were not such a great help here, but no. It's okay.
But he's cute.
Yeah, he's very cute. And the guy, he was very old, and he was using this little wheel thing, and he had two big melons on each side. I don't know how he could have that, because he was like 90 years old. Anyway, so I went over there, and I had a special key, so I opened the door, and then I told him that I could help him up, and he couldn't speak or anything, and he just nodded and said yes. And then I helped him up all the way to the house, and he was just like waving to me and like thank you. And then I came back, and then at the cafeteria there were some people there and said like, oh, that was really good. We did that together. That we saw him, and I felt like we really did we helped him a little bit there. She could have just have ignored me and him. So maybe that's something.
Of course, I mean, it doesn't take much, does it?
No.
And then it spreads. And if everybody here tonight and everybody watching just do one small thing, just one tiny thing tomorrow, for instance, or maybe even tonight, I think we're going to change this world from the grassroots and upwards, don't you? Yeah. And have you got any role models in your life or for your music, or?
I have to. I of course I have to say my mom and my best friend at home. But of course I have some. I think we have some good artists that we like. I really love Erykah Badu, Chaka Khan, Lisa Nilsson, a Swedish singer. She has an amazing voice, and there is so many people I would like to say, but they are my biggest inspirations, I guess.
Have you got any favorites?
Yeah, my parents. You gotta say my parents.
You have to say the same.
That's the correct answer. Okay, we'll have to thank you for this evening's performance, and we really enjoyed it, everybody. Give them a big hand, Istria and her band. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, over to something completely different. We might get in touch with Lagos, Nigeria,
Yes.
Do we? Are we? having-
The thing is, this festival is not only here in this tremendous metropolitan area called Ekerö, rural Stockholm area. It's also, of course, about to happen in the US.
Mhm.
And it is happening as we're speaking
in Lagos, Nigeria, and they've had their festival running for like 2 or 3 hours now, I think. And New York is starting their show at our midnight. So
So
it's 6 o'clock in New York. But
2 hours after we go off the air,
Yeah.
you can just latch on, see a movie, and then you go straight on to the New York feed and continue your local act for peace.
Yeah. And that's excellent. I just have to mention there for everybody that Cosmos Sunshine, I don't know if that was clear when I introduced Cosmos, that he has actually set up the thing going on from midnight and onwards in New York. So it's thanks to him that there's going to be a local act for peace in New York as well.
And what we're waiting for and what we're hoping for now is if you've been with us throughout the evening, you saw the Skype call to a Walk for Peace. Now we're trying a Walk to Peace.
Yes, because it's number 2 if you want to Google them.
Of course, because if you walk 4 Ps and 2 Ps, they're walking 2 Ps.
Yeah, and they're 2 people.
And they're 2
So,
people.
yeah, it makes sense.
And they're going to walk until it's peace.
Yes.
So it's not walk 4 Ps, it's a
No.
walk 2 Ps. That's what it is.
It's clever.
Very clever. I'm not very clever because I said walk 4 Ps, which is wrong. So if you Google it, walk 2 Ps.
Anyway, Lagos.
We're waiting for, and what we're stalling for, and you're obviously clever enough to realize that we're actually just talking because we're waiting for a Skype call.
No, I've got some things to say.
Stephen.
Yes. I mean, Stephen Kayode Farm is a very special man.
Not just because he's got an 8-pack.
No.
If you Google him, he's
Yeah, Google
ridiculously
him.
fit.
I know. He now lives in Lagos, Nigeria, but has also lived and worked in both UK, US, and in Saudi Arabia. He's been dealing finances. He's been a finance shark.
See, the problem
that
with
the
us
word?
is we're both actors, and he's been dealing in finance. That's
Yeah.
all we know.
But he's been very successful in that area. But now he has started his own local act for peace in Nigeria. And he seems to have access to more than 24 hours a day, actually, because he's not only doing this local act for peace, he has so much energy and enthusiasm. So he also is a motivational speaker, a classical guitarist, and a martial artist. Now, isn't that something? What a combination.
And we're trying to sort of eye our way up to the sort of producer up here and go, have we got him online? Is he online? Do we have him? No, we don't have him. We have a film.
Yeah, please.
So this is the, we should just call him like the Da Vinci of Lagos. This is Stephen.
Yeah, enjoy.
Enjoy. Hopefully he's going to get on that screen now, so people can see him. Because he's worth watching.
Once he's up there, he's worth
Once
watching.
he's because he's got an 8-pack, and he's really clever in finance and other stuff.
Did you see his round kicks?
Yeah, I saw them. There's a jump when he's kicking his own ears.
know.
I can't do that.
He can do the splits.
He can do. Can you do the splits?
No.
You used to.
No.
No, never. She
Never.
never did the splits.
Yeah.
Klaus,
Have you got the
did you
film?
just tell us that there was a film just so that you could? Oh, it went black. There's something happening.
I think it's coming.
I don't know if people watching this are just going like, how long can they keep going? Because now it just says no signal. So either there's something happening, really interesting. No signal. Signal, no signal. Pattern. There's a pattern emerging. The pattern is we're
Well,
talking.
we-
Should we get the next artist ready?
We
Who's
would
the
like
next
to,
artist?
Fabian.
Fabian. Fabian,
we
are
would
you
like
around?
To,
Fabian, would you
oh,
mind
there
coming?
he is.
Fabian.
Shall we say bye-bye to Lagos and just wish them luck? Good luck.
can someone behind the camera just yell and go, no, no, we've got the film. It's just going to be another minute of you talking
Tell us
about
to wait or
absolutely
not.
nothing. Alder Stark.
There
Oh,
he
there he is.
is.
We can see him now. You can't, but we can. I also produce Dr. Martin Luther King. Are you sure it's him? No, it's a quote. It's a quote. I should have had my reading glasses on. Thank you very much, Fabian. You were about to save our lives. We will be talking to you shortly. Fabian is our next artist. Can anyone get...
Lori
wait,
video.
wait. Are we...
My local act for Pete.
Are we on the air with Coyote?
Moje Olubanisoro. Motunje Eniti Otangita Odeoni. Onija Kung Fu ni me bakono. Moni Akunu Ibanisoro Lori video Lori Shirishi. My local act for peace. Yo Jenny Ajodun Akorin. Yo han. Àwọn ọlọ́run gbajúmọ̀ tí wọn yóò wá kọrin níbẹ̀ ní oṣù kẹjọ ọdún yìí tí wọn yóò sì tún máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìgbésí ayé wọn. Inú mi dùn láti fi tó yín létí. Ó dàbọ̀.
That was Stephen.
That could be the best voice ever.
Yeah, I know.
I feel that when you're watching. Do you remember the kids film Jungle Book?
Yeah.
With that snake who just went
Yeah.
hypnotize you. Car.
Yeah.
That was it. I felt like yes.
Yeah, he's a motivational
I love you
speaker.
now, Coyote.
Now I'm gonna
go to him now. You can
Bye,
introduce
bye.
Fabian.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna
I'm
introduce.
leaving now.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Do you want me to leave now?
Yes.
I
thank
am.
you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Now, for the next act, Fabian Santa Cruz. He's a 23-year-old man, young man. He was born in Quito, in Ecuador. And on his 8th birthday, his mother gave him a guitar. Very clever mother. And from that day on, he's been playing. And he came to Sweden at the age of 15, and here he went to music school. And he's a multi-instrumentalist. And tonight, you're going to hear him play his guitar and cajon, which means, I looked it up, so I hope I'm right. You must correct me if I'm wrong. But it means box in Spanish. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Great. And it's a kind of percussion made out of plywood. And it says it's originally from Peru, but I'm not sure about that. Is that true? Yeah, it's originally from Peru. It's a really cool sound. And Fabian is going to play 3 songs for us. And later on this autumn, he's going to come out with an album called Walking on Fire. And his drive is to show and share his passion for music with others. So, let him share it with us. And please welcome Fabian Santa Cruz.
Thank you. Right, this first song is called Anywhere. You want me to forget it all, leave everything and walk with you. You tell me to erase it all, you what I've seen and what I've done, and go away with you, just anywhere with you, and go away with you, just anywhere. You want me to ignore them stop telling us what to do. To hold your hand and clear my mind. Just play slow without asking why, and go away with you. Just anywhere with you, and go away with you. Just anywhere. Just anywhere, you anywhere, just anywhere, you anywhere. Thank you. This song is called Let Me Know. You can fall asleep under her warm and bright skin, where the sweetest fruit grows under our feet. The streets are full with stories waiting to speak. Just come a little bit closer and you will hear. Let me know if you wanna go there. Let me know if you're planning to go there. You let me know. You let me know, yeah. You let me know if you wanna go there. Where the trees are high, so high, they cover our house. With the help of the wind and the sun, they paint on the ground. Where the rain is singing for us our favorite song. All the mountains are guiding us the way back home. You let me know if you wanna go there. You let me know if you're planning to go there. You let me know. You let me know. You let me know if you wanna go there. Thank you. It's a bit cold now. No, it's okay, thank you. The next song, it's a reggae song, so I hope you like it. It's called Wasting Time. You're wasting time sitting and drawing lines, trying to lie and say that all is fine. You're wasting time writing so many rules, trying to divide us and saying all is cool. You're wasting time trying to close the door and open fire when someone gets close. You're wasting time if you think we're gonna stop. If you think we're gonna stop. No, you're never gonna make us hate each other. Oh, 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 oh. You're never gonna make me kill my brother. No. You're wasting time avoiding all the words, criticizing things you don't know. You're wasting time trying to have control. Just let it go, just let it go. You're wasting time trying to be the best, buying and buying with no rest. You're wasting time if you think we're gonna stop. If you think we're gonna stop. No, you're never gonna make us hate each other. Oh, 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 oh. You're never gonna make me kill my brother. No, you're never gonna make us hate each other. Oh, 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 oh. You're never gonna make me kill my brother. No, you're never gonna make us hate each other. Oh, 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 oh. You're never gonna make me kill my brother. No, you're never gonna make us hate each other. Oh, 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 oh. You're never gonna make me kill my brother. No. Thank you. That was my last song.
Okay. Thank you, Fabian. Thank you very much. Can we give him a good hand? Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Fabian.
I was waiting for more. I wanted more. I'm sorry. Thanks. And now it's for the final act. And I would like to have Henrik by my side. Sorry, Martin.
You don't want me.
Well, I do, but not at this very moment.
You want the chimes in the background.
Yes. Henrik. Hi.
Henrik, the only thing you're gonna get from me is a microphone. There you are.
Thank you, Martin.
Okay, this is Henrik Nis, and he has been in the production team in A Local Act for Peace, and he is he's a singer-songwriter, as many of the acts have that have been shown tonight.
Indeed.
And I'm going to present your band in a little while, but first I'd like to ask you. I think these stories are quite nice to bring on home after this evening. So I was wondering whether you had something to share with us. Have you got some story where you have recognized some local acts for peace?
Right. Well, I could tell you about. So I have a close friend who has a company, and which I find very inspiring. Basically, what they do is they convert old, inefficient safari vehicles in Africa to from petrol engines to electrical engines, and this is, of course, a lot better for the environment on a global level, but also locally, since the emissions in the area decrease drastically, and also the electrical engines are a lot quieter.
So that they can actually get closer to further out in the nature and see what they want to see.
This should make for a better, more immersive experience for safari goers and animals alike. Now, if that means you have wild animals coming up closer to the vehicles, then you could get a little bit too close to a lion pack, maybe.
Yeah.
So it could be a double-edged sword, but yeah, they have to work out some kinks.
Yeah, we'll see how it works
Yeah.
out. But it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I really think it is, and well, it's just so inspiring to me to see how these two guys can just go down to Africa and make this positive change.
Yeah.
So I want to do the same in my life.
Yeah, well, you are, because you're here, right?
Right.
Yeah, and can I introduce your band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
sure.
take your place on stage, and I will introduce your band for you.
Now, where do I
Shall
put
I,
this?
I'll put it here, and I'll talk in this. Is this okay? Yeah, it works fine. Now, we have, thank you. We have Georg Asplund, the keyboardist. Where are you? There you are. That's Georg for you. And Ella Hillborg, backup vocals. There you go. Johannes Haglund, drums. And Fredrik Stavegren, bass. And of course, Henrik Niss, guitar and song.
Coming.
No. No?
How about maybe we switch mics?
Yeah.
My mic as well.
Okay. You get this then. Hur gör vi? Ska jag ta den här? Yes.
Thanks. Thank you, Eddie, everybody. Right. Here we go. This is a new song. It's called Plan B.
say that life isn't rich enough for me. Have you given any thought about a plan B? And every way you move to me, my darling, yeah, got a hold on me. Now she acts like I'm a man. No hell, no, stop, stop, don't go further. This one-way road's got slippery slopes. There's just no, you're a fire and flame, can't come back alive. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey. When I see her walking by, she blows me a kiss. Now suddenly up close, she fills the sky. She hits me left and right. Now, hey, now, darling, yeah. Get your hands off of me. Woman, I don't need your cash. No, hell no. Stop, stop, don't go further. This one-way road's got slippery slopes. There's just no way your fire and flame can come back alive. I know that it's hard for you to lie, yet you keep on all the while. Soon as it has compartmentalized, and keep on, keep on. It's not the fact to 11 when you can. You'll end up in heaven or in hell. While you do that, you'll walk right next to me. Whoa. I know that it's hard for you to lie, yet you keep on all the while. Soon as it has compartmentalized, and keep on, touch it down to 11 when you can. You'll end up in heaven or in hell. When you do that, you walk right next to me. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, yeah, yeah. 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 St. Peter's lying on the floor next to you. I know it's hard to remember, but so are you. And you're not alone. This is not your home. At least you're not alone, yeah. I know it's hard to remember, but so are you. Well, this is all that I fought for half my life now, and I already lost our all for now. That all week was a lifetime, what's more, months have passed. Now has it really gone over? I'm still stunned. Yeah, I'm rooted to the same. This is getting old place. I know you care, but can't keep me here. Now has it really blown over? I'm still stunned. Well, this is all that I fought for. Half my life now, and I've already lost a lifetime. There's nothing harder than honestly, honestly killing me. And me out unless it's all for naught. Oh, 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 oh. I know it's hard to remember, but so are you. Well, this is all that I fought for. Half my life now, and I've already lost a lifetime. There's nothing harder than honesty, honestly killing me. Hear me out unless it's all for naught. Oh, unless it's all for naught. Oh, unless it's all for naught. Oh, unless it's all for naught.
Hey! Henning Niss med orkester! Klockan är nu hur mycket, Angela?
Klockan är 10.
Kan vi
It's-
lägga av nu?
It's 10 o'clock and we're just about to close, but we're gonna hear this band keep on playing. We just want to say a few words before we end. We'd like to hear a few words from our hosts. Hosts?
Hostesses.
Eva and
That's
Claes.
more than one host.
Thank you so much. You've been so great. And all of the artists, I mean, what a fantastic show. Thanks.
Yeah, I also want to thank everyone involved here and in Nigeria, and also the upcoming show in Brooklyn with an hour from now, I think, or maybe 2 hours. 2 hours. So you just look at them on our webpage and 12 o'clock Swedish time. Thank you.
And there's, I just have to say something.
Of
Can
course.
Yeah. There was this Indian guru who got a question, how shall I treat others? And he answered, there are no others.
Clever man.
Yeah,
That's something to think about.
I think so. Yeah.
On that note, thank you, Claes. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, everyone involved. Enjoy the rest of the show because we're going to keep rolling. But this is it from us. No more from here. Everybody come on up and dance. Henrik Niss, take it away. Bye.
to. So you got to know what you're feeling. You're not healing this alone. So you got to. You know you got to. If what you do is not for you, then understand. No, you got to. So you got to. Hey, look, it's time for you to know which way to go. Read between the lines. It's like you're only searching for somebody else to lead the way, for something else to numb the pain, and yet you feel like you were only, yeah. Who you are ain't about what you got underneath your skin. So you got to. Don't act surprised if you find lies embedded deep behind your open eyes. Oh, if what you do is not for you, then why the hell are you? So you got to. Hey, look, it's time for you to know which way to go. Read between the lines. It's like you're only searching for somebody else to lead the way, for something else to numb the pain, and yet you felt like you were only searching for anywhere else to lay your head, for anyone else to sound and say, you'll never get there if you're lonely, no. Eu gasto pelo pouquinho. It's like you're only searching for somebody else to lead the way, for something else to numb the pain. Searching for anywhere else to lay your head, for anyone else to soundly say, you'll never get there if you're lonely, no. You're only searching for somebody else, searching for somebody
all right. Thanks a lot. Okay, vi går vidare direkt. Let's get this. You'll tell me what you want from life, how you'll get it right this time. I'm sorry, honey, it's alright to cry. Your eyes dry, you're fine. You'll tell me you got all you need, and it's killing me how you're satisfied. I'm wondering if you tell truth from lies, honey, you're alright to be alive. Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. Go and sound the alarm. It's funny how it lingers, like it's gonna be how it feels for a long while. I'm through with guessing what's going on, done it all night long. I'd rather be up on the roof with you and caffeine, and I'm satisfied. No worries in the world up here. Kick back, breathe in, relax, enjoy the ride. Go ahead, sound the alarm. Oh, go ahead, sound the alarm. Honey, you've already found it, you've fallen down on it. Lift it up slowly, make sure you got hold of it. Only you. Oh, honey, you've already found it, you've fallen down on it. Lift it up slowly, make sure you got hold of it. Only you. Slowly, make sure you got hold of it. Only you. Whoa. You've already found it, you've fallen down on it. Lift it up slowly, make sure you got hold of it. Only you. Pick yourself up where you left off. At least get a grip on why. Repeat it now, day and night. Repeat it until you're all fed up. Go and sound the alarm. Go and sound the alarm. All right, thanks a lot. So, here we go. The last song from us. My name is Henrik Niss. This is my band. We're on Spotify. Search Henrik Niss. Here's the last song. It's called Why Don't You? Vänta, jag måste bestämma ligan. That's some good old tune-up music, if you know it. Let's go with that.
All right, come on. On the road, not enough again. You've been letting life run ahead. Still stuck to the seat and you hate it. You won't let your color show. Inside this cell on wheels, you'll find all you'll ever need. You brought this on yourself. You gotta sort out this subject mess. So why don't you go? Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. When you feel you scrape to get by, stand on your head, point your feet to the sky. After all, we got all this time on our hands. Quicksand's getting quicker by the hour. Instead of chasing dreams, we hide behind our cell phone screens. You brought this on yourself. You gotta sort out this sorry mess. Why don't you go? Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. There's no excuse. Why don't you go? Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. There's no excuses left for you. Hold on. So why don't you go? Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. There's no excuses left for you. Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. There's no excuses left for you. Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. There's no excuses. Why don't you go? Why don't you go fix these things you did? Why don't you go? There's no excuses left for you. Tack så hjärtligt oss. Tack så.
All right. Thanks a lot. Vilken ride.
What a ride.
Thank you so much.